Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, BWooly 1001 here with a review of the EVGA GTX 960 SSC. Now, this is not a sponsored or endorsed video in any way, shape or form. I was gifted this GTX by EVGA at EGX. A lot of E's, G's, X's and other things will be repeated a lot in this video. So I'm testing this against a HD 7970 and HD 7970 in Crossfire to see how it stands up to what should be on paper a better graphics card. I'll let the review speak for itself, ladies and gentlemen. Roll the tape. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is BWooly 1001 with a review. I haven't done a review in a long time, so I thought I'd come back to reviewing with a bit of a bang. So here I have an EVGA GTX 960 SSC. Now this is their super clocked edition with a pretty impressive base clock of 1279 megahertz. It's a pretty impressive GPU, very pretty. I will show you some more detailed pics, etc. when I go through specs in a second, i.e. what it can do, can't do, and what it's going to be going up against in the benchmarks that I will be putting this through. But first and foremost, the important thing is getting it out of this. It needs to come out of its box. It needs to come out and play. So if we try and find a way of opening it without damaging the box, really, that's the going to be the essential part. Okay, so if we take our time to open this, so you don't do what you just did, Wooly. Just don't do what you just did, Wooly. I could have ripped this bit off, I reckon. I could have ripped this off. And just taking my time with the knife, don't want to damage anything. Oh, I've scratched, no, I haven't scratched the box, don't you worry. I did bend it a little bit though. So this plastic's definitely not needing a knife. But this stuff is, this bit of plastic will need a knife. Now, I received this from the guys at EVGA. I want to thank you both for this. I'm sure there are many more of you at EVGA than the guys that I met at EGX. I'm sorry, I'm blocking my face. I haven't done an unboxing with this camera in this position. It comes up. If it's not working properly, do not return it to the store. It also has a fancy little insert about the performance of the cooling. Don't know if you can see there because it's got the ACX 2.0 cooling system on it. Lovely box so far. Let's take her apart. Take that off, pop that down there. Actually, I'm going to pop that back there. Pop that back there for you so you can still see it. Now, it comes with a set of stickers, EVGA stickers. They'll probably go on the desk. Comes with a EVGA poster. Not a bad poster. I think you can all tell if and where that will be going. That's on the floor at the minute. Driver's disc, very important. A little bit of information about the ACX 2.0. Fans on the series will not turn on until they're needed. If you wish to manually set them, go to Precision X and you can set that so it's silent running. Don't know if you can hear that in the background, but that's the coolers on the, oh, nice little EVGA metal tag there. That is the fans on my 7970 Crossfire rig. Instructional booklet, everybody needs that. 8-pin power connection, don't need that. That is a DVI to VGA. Don't need that either. Now, here's the bit that you're all been waiting for. Come on, nice and smooth. Oh, beautiful. Now, it comes with a little tag attached to the back. 50% off your next purchase. Power supply or gaming mouse. So, everything off of the Torque mouse. I'll take that off in a minute. But, oh, come out nice and easy. Don't you fight me. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the GTX 960 EVGA in all its glory. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take all of these covers and shrouds off, and I'm going to do you some fancy photography I'm going to take it off now actually so you can see it. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? That is a gorgeous looking GPU. I love the texture on it, just the way it's designed. I mean, I've got a EVGA power supply at the minute, and I absolutely love it. So what I'm going to do now is, before I do the benchmarks, I will... it's got the SSC... there we go. So it's got the branding across the top and the SSC there. I don't know if there's a little cover on that. But very, very nicely laid out. Pretty clear that there's the GPU there. Yeah, all in all so far, very, very happy with that. It's a nice, it's not plastic either, it's a metal shroud on that, so that'll help with cooling. Alley fins, it's only got a 8-pin, don't know if you can see that. I'll try and do it in the video in a second, but it's only got an 8-pin power connector, so it's not going to be drawing that much power when you consider that the 7970 draws 250 watts. I think this only draws about 125, 130 watts. So it will be interesting to see how this stacks up against that. But for now, I'm going to go over a little bit more on what the specs are of this with some footage. So before we get into the actual tech specs of this, let's talk about the ACX 2.0 cooling redefined. Now, it promises to be 26% cooler, 36% quieter, 250% lower fan power and 400% lifespan. That is due to the dual ball bearing system and also the 3-phase low power motor, making this one of the quietest and more power efficient graphics cards on the market. Let's get into the tech specs now. So the memory clocks have been left as stock, but as you can see they have overclocked these, so as soon as you pop it into your rig you have got an overclocked GPU. It will mean that the TDP of each of these are a little bit different. The SSC sitting at about 160 TDP. Means that if I've got two of these at 320 watts, I'm quite happy, seeing as my 7970s both run at 250 watts apiece. Now, these also do have a dual BIOS for those overclockers that want to be using it, but I am not going to be demoing that today. So before I get into benchmarks and showing you the results of a few games using the 960, I wanted to show you some footage actually captured live in DayZ using Shadowplay and this GPU. Now, DayZ I haven't benchmarked, I will benchmark it, but I'm playing this on high. All of the settings are on high. I'm at 1080p and I'm recording at 60 FPS. So yeah, to be able to record at 1080p 60 FPS while on these settings on a single 960, sorry. Yeah, very, very impressed. So now down to benchmarking. Here I put Hitman Absolution up, which we all know is AMD optimized, but I thought I'd give it a go anyway. So averages on the 7970 Crossfire were 48 frames per second, the single 7970 were 36 frames per second, and the 960 put it out at 22 frames per second. I didn't think it was going to stand up to it, obviously it was an AMD optimized game. So then I tried it on Tomb Raider. As we can see with Tomb Raider, it's a completely different story. Tomb Raider averaged out on the 7970 at 59, the single 7970 at 59, and then the 960 at 56. So there wasn't that much in it, and the Crossfire had me a bit concerned. So next up, what I did is I put up BioShock Infinite, another AMD optimized game supposedly. And this happened. The Crossfire pulled out 73 frames per second average, the single 7970 72, and the 960 pulled out 81 frames per second, smashing it to the competitor. So GTA 5, one of the biggest titles, I thought I've got to give it a go. So the Crossfire 7970 46 frames per second, the single at 48, and the 960 at 70 frames per second, ladies and gentlemen. Very impressed here. And with CSGO, unfortunately, the same thing sort of happened. The average on the Crossfire was 155, on the single 166, and on the 690 139. So I don't know what's happening with the Crossfire or how well optimized it is by AMD at the minute, but it's not looking good for the AMD at the moment. And then running The Witcher 3, which is NVIDIA optimized, this happened. Now, The 7970 Crossfire maxed out at 46 but averaged 33 with the lowest minimum of 8 frames per second. So something weird is really happening with that Crossfire. Then the single averaged at 25 and the Nvidia's 960 hit 27. So all in all, a very, very impressive competitive card in the 960. So to wrap it up, the EVGA GTX 960 SSC. Would I recommend it? Yes, definitely, 100%. It keeps up and competes in some cases with my HD 7970, which is roughly a 280X. So for it to do that, when on paper it shouldn't be, I'm very, very impressed with this. To the limit of, I am honestly thinking of selling my HD 7970s, both of them, and getting another one of these for SLI. It'd be awesome. Plus, if you purchase with EVGA, so if you went and you bought a 960 from EVGA and you were happy with it but you wanted a little bit more, within 90 days of purchasing and registering your card, you can do an EVGA step up. Now, this is something that only EVGA, to my knowledge, does. It's amazing. It means that you can basically pay the difference on upgrading your card to the next level. So if I wanted a 970, I would contact them. I can't, this is free, so I'm not going to upgrade this one. But you would contact them after you've registered your graphics card. Then send them your graphics card and the money, and they'll send you the upgrade. So like the 970 or the 980, whichever one you were going for. So I would definitely recommend the 960 for anybody playing any game at all at the minute. I played Ark Survival last night on this, on medium settings. It's a very, very demanding and very unoptimized game. And I was playing that at 60 FPS on medium. So definitely recommend this to anybody wanting to purchase an NVIDIA graphics card. Go at EVGA, ladies and gentlemen. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next one.